Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
It's 4 o'clock in Los Angeles, 6 o'clock in Chicago, and 7 p.m. here in the Big Apple, New York City. Hello, everybody. Mad Dog DeCipio on a Tuesday night with you, joined as I am each and every week by the mouth of the South herself, Amelia the Pitbull Chapman. And tonight, a very special guest is back, as he is very often these days, the Rowdy Red himself, Pastor Steve Kwiatkowski. So, Amelia, how you doing, kid?
Doing good.
What kind of response from last night's show?
Oh, really?
We did, we did. We did an interesting show last night, Rev, called The Funniest TikToks. And we were just, Amelia and I were just laughing our ass off. But then we talked about the serious nature of TikTok, about how their rules apply to certain people.
Oh,
and how they don't apply to other people.
Oh, I know.
And that's going to tie into tonight's conversation.
Beautiful.
Because I got some things to say about that.
Oh,
I'm sure you got some unloading to do tonight.
Oh,
we'll get to that in a minute. But I want
to
get Amelia's insight from last night. So what did you think of last night's show?
We had some wonderful videos, but I just wish that we could have shown a couple that were not able to show because to me, they should have been able to be seen because just because you can't say a certain word, instead of saying dead, you have to say unalive. Come on, give me a break.
Let me listen to this one. You're not even going to believe this. On TikTok, you'll get banned if you say the word dead or kill. You have to say, you can't say suicide either.
No,
you have to say, Joe Smith unalived himself.
What the hell is that?
Will you please explain this? Because I still have no idea.
Yeah, you can't say dead. You have to say unalived, which
Why?
is another word for that.
Apparently, because it's China, don't forget, TikTok is owned by the Chinese mafia, basically, right?
Right.
That's who owns it. That's for real. And so it's like a bad mojo or bad juju if you use the word dead or kill in their culture. And I don't get it. I don't understand it. But you can't say Joe Smith committed suicide. You have to say Joe Smith unalived himself. And then if somebody kills someone, it's person A unalived person B.
Right, correct.
This is the shit we're talking about. You can't do that. But you can show a dead body.
Right.
But you can't say it's dead. You have to say it's an unalived body.
With all due respect, a lot of these people eat cats and dogs in their culture.
That's my... I said that.
But you can show that.
They do.
But you can show animal abuse. Yeah, this is okay.
Fucking savages.
Right.
They are.
Yeah, the truth.
They absolutely are.
And when I did when we were doing a show with a killer with Ramirez, when I was showing the pentagram on the hand, they banned me for that.
Yes, they banned. The Night Stalker Richard Ramirez.
Yeah,
he had a pentagram on his hand, and he went like this in court and showed it to the judge. Do you know that YouTube banned that video? I had to take that section out.
What the fuck is wrong with these people?
When you find out, let me know.
I know what's wrong with them. I mean, I'm going to talk from a pastoral perspective. We don't fight against flesh and blood, but against principalities and rulers of this dark world.
Yeah.
It's Satan. It's literally. Yeah. And they're doing this shit on purpose because they want people to fight. They want people to get
Thank
pissed
you.
off.
Right.
They're
I am
baiting
so
people.
glad to hear him say
Right.
this
That's what they want.
because it's finally our kind of pastor. That's what we've been saying this for. I've been saying this for how long has this show been on the air? 6 years now? I've
Right.
been saying this for 6 years on the air. Okay.
Hmm.
This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Now, finally got validation from clergy, okay?
Right.
That I know I'm not, well, I'm a little crazy, but
Well,
I'm
I
not
am
nuts,
too.
okay? That's the thing. I'm crazy, but I'm not nuts,
Mhm.
okay?
Well, even define
I'm like
that.
fun crazy. But here's the thing, Pastor, because we're going to get into,
Yeah,
we're going to get deeply into this, but I want to set the tone here
sure.
because it's really important. Tonight's show is an open forum. Tonight's anything goes. If you guys are out there and you want to jump in on this, trust me, there's plenty of room for everybody to be heard tonight.
Oh yeah.
Because we're not going to hold back. So, let me just get into it. Last night we had a hell of a show talking about the funny side of TikTok and the lighter moments. But along with that came, some serious moments about, who decides what's appropriate. And that's the question of the day.
Oh yes.
Tonight we're going to tie that into
Wow.
our open forum, anything goes, because I got some things to say about that, but I'm going to hold off. I'm going to let Pastor Steve kind of unload on this because
Oh, okay. Can do that.
hypocrisy, folks, doesn't just exist on social media or what I call unsocial media, like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram,
True story.
TikTok, YouTube, all that stuff. That's all social media, okay?
Absolutely.
And so there's plenty of blame to go around, right? There's plenty. I mean, there's plenty for
Absolutely.
everybody.
Mhm.
But there's also plenty of blame in the private sector, like churches
Yep.
and businesses.
Yep.
And people don't understand this.
Absolutely.
But the church is not a public sector. It's a private sector.
That's right.
You know why? Because churches are run by dioceses.
Yep.
And that's a private enterprise. Your diocese is a business, ladies and gentlemen. They're not doing good just for the sake of it. They're making money. How do you think the priests and nuns are getting paid?
Yeah. Now with us, the beautiful thing about the AOC, and I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about Anglican Orthodox.
Yeah, he's not
Church.
talking about that lady in New York.
Because we're anything but liberal. We're a very conservative denomination, and we adhere to the King James Bible. It's just a very conservative denomination. One thing I love about them is that we can own like the congregation owns the building. The building owns itself. We don't pay a diocesan quarterly fee or anything. And it's up to our church, local church, to pay the pastor's salary, whatever tithe they make, whatever. And a lot of us just volunteer these days, post-pandemic, volunteer more time because the church needs extra help, right? But I got to say, the Anglican Orthodox Church was started out of the Episcopal Church because the Episcopal Church was falling away from God, from the truth. I'm going to just be honest.
They became very liberal, didn't they?
Yep. And so all the Episcopal clergy, a lot of them, went over to Bishop Jerry. And so we're still Episcopalian, but we are the Episcopal Church before it went liberal. And so that's the best thing about us. So
yeah, I never met Bishop Jerry Ogles, who, by the way, is the presiding pastor over the Anglican Church for the whole country. Or the
it's
East
international. Coast. It's international now. It's Anglican.
Oh, and is he the head of the international?
He is.
Is he really?
He's heading the international.
See, I never met him, but I like the way this guy thinks.
I told him.
I like the way this guy's got brass balls.
He does, and he does not care what
he
people
don't give
say.
a shit.
And
I like a guy like that.
He's
don't give
good.
A shit.
He's a man's man, and that's what I got to say. And he's a decorated officer, and from the service. He served his country, and just he's a good old boy. He's a good Southern boy too. Good man. Good man. A lot of respect for that man.
Amelia.
Yes.
What is on your mind tonight? What do you need to vent about?
I mean, it's just that, like you were saying yesterday that, TikTok should allow us to do that. But even like in the workplace,
Forget about.
no, but like
hold
it's
on, back up. Hold on. You're not going to piggyback with my
no,
coach.
no. I'm saying like how you should be allowed to say what you want.
Amelia to unload what she. I don't
Right.
care if it's home, work,
Right.
the people in your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Forget TikTok.
Right. No, I'm saying you should be allowed to say what you want.
Lose
But
and unload.
I
Go
know,
ahead.
but
You
should be
finally
allowed
have a
to.
chance to be a badass. Go ahead.
You
Turn
should be
your
allowed
name
to.
football.
You should be allowed to say what you want or do without being afraid to lose your job.
You
And
can, because you're on What's the Buzz, America's Best Podcast.
And without thinking you're gonna go crazy or lose your mind, and it hurts because you, especially with a job that you love, and you had to quit, and that's what happened to me.
But tell Pastor about that. Tell our listeners.
Yeah. I mean,
what did you had to do? Listen to this one, folks.
I had a nice, really cushy job. I've been there for 4.5 years almost, and with the half a year part, was toward the end. But my manager was great. Then she decided to move up, and then I had a nice little corner, little desk. I wasn't bothering anyone, and then all of a sudden, I got this different manager, and she decided to tell us, okay, well, this call, but that was like from a year ago. She wasn't even my manager at that time. And then she started picking on me. And then she moved me to a desk as soon as you walk in. And then every time she came in, she micromanaged me. It's like, I have not done a damn thing to you, lady. And here you are picking on me for no damn reason. I've not done a damn thing to you.
Can you tell everybody what the actual reason was, like you told me?
Yeah, she's Hispanic, for one. And she expected me to take Spanish calls, which I didn't want to, because where I live here in Florida, there's so many different Hispanics that there's Colombian, Puerto Rican, Mexican,
all different dialects,
all different dialects. Exactly. And we get graded on these calls. And if I get a 0 or so many zeros, you get rolled up. Oh, I'm not going to risk myself doing that, for one.
No.
Mm-hmm.
And exactly. And she has her little clique. Because, like, for example.
Here's the thing that got me, though, about that, Amelia. Let me just tell Pastor. Right. Here's the thing that got me about that, which is very interesting. It was a Hispanic woman that was giving her shit.
Exactly. My own race. She was Mexican.
She would be protected.
Yeah, and she's Mexican too.
The other thing, Amelia, that maybe you didn't think of is the level of jealousy between what you're doing and what your manager was doing.
Right.
Well,
she's Mexican too, of all things. Can you believe it?
And and you're Mexican as well.
Yes, and I was getting a lot of
full-blooded Mexican you'll ever see.
Right, the lightest one, right?
Mexican.
And I was
she burns in the sun.
I do.
Have you ever done your lineage, like your ancestry?
Not as far as maybe my grandparents. My great-great-grandparents are from Mexico. That's as far as I went.
Well, you probably have, this happens, European in you. I mean,
could be.
Yeah. You look like you could, just saying, you pass for Italian even.
Wait a minute, here's the best part.
Or French.
Her maiden name is Valerio. That sounds Italian.
That's Italian.
Yeah, well, they originally was with a V, with like Victor, but my grandfather
Valerio.
Yes.
Oh, really?
That's like Valero up here.
Exactly.
The gas station up the street.
We have a chain of gas stations up here called Valero.
Yeah, and supposedly we have some oil that we own, but I'm not really sure where that's.
Amelia, I think you're Italian.
Check your lineage.
Really?
I think you
might be a Goomba. You never know.
I think so. You might be Italian.
That's probably why I speak some Italian very well.
Right?
What's the matter, you?
I'll teach you all the Italian you need to know. This is a fungal. This is up your ass. This is I don't give a shit.
Right.
And then, of course, the Maloikis, like, give somebody the horn.
Right.
That's all you need to know.
Okay.
And Steve's mother, Lonnie, will teach you the rest.
Especially all that good cooking, right?
I guess you can see it in me. I'm half.
Right?
So Steve is half
I'm 50%
Russian. If you can believe
English Russian.
English Russian. I thought for years that you were Polish.
Russian, yeah.
Yeah.
Russian, English, and
Because he has
Italian.
a name that sounds Polish. Kwiatkowski.
yeah, Kwiatkowski. It could be Russian, Lithuanian,
Yeah.
Polish.
It's all that European bloc. Yep.
Yeah, I'm 100% European. That's for sure. Between Italian,
Yeah.
Italian, English,
Yeah.
and I'm European.
And he was raised in an Italian household.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
True.
Sure it was. Yeah, I got a couple things I want to vent on. I want to wait.
I was
till
just going to ask you.
What's that?
What was your? It's your turn now. What you want to vent?
Oh, I'll tell you what I want to vent on big time. I want to vent. No, I'm serious. Dude. I want to vent on inequality in the society we live in.
Amen to
And I'm
that.
going to tell you why. Here's what's bothering me, deeply bothering
Me too. I was thinking about it.
Yeah. It seems that this society that we lived in, everything's upside down. Good is bad, bad is
It's
good.
good.
Okay.
Mhm.
You're living among a society that rewards bad behavior.
Yes.
And that it irks the shit out of me because when somebody does something nice genuinely out of the kindness of their heart, they're looked upon as suspicious. Like what do they want? What's in it for
An
them?
ulterior motive.
Exactly, the ulterior motive. Well, here's the ulterior motive. How about I just want to do something nice for somebody?
Yep.
How about forget the 20 questions, okay? How about you just let me do what I want to do nice and shut the fuck up and enjoy what I do for you, right? But that's not good enough because we live in a suspicious society where everything and everyone, by the way, Pastor, everything and everyone is suspect.
I know.
And they're all subjected to a level of scrutiny like never before.
Oh, I know.
That bothers me.
I'm dealing with 2 right now, as you.
Yeah,
already
well,
know.
you're going to get a chance
Actually,
to talk
old
about
job.
3.
Yep.
You are going to get a chance to talk about that right now, my nephew.
I can do that.
Roll with it. This is
So-
open forum. Anything goes, and the Rowdy Rev is up to bat.
I'm up to bat, and I got to tell you something. There comes a point in time when you got to say enough is enough. Yesterday, enough was enough. Let me just start there for a minute. There's this guy who's been getting help from the church, from myself, for several months, about 10 months. The last 2 to 3 months, I've been trying to help this guy get housing. I wrote him an eloquent letter, had notarized it with the church's legal stamp, gave it to social services, and he had one task: to call there and check on the status of his housing or go there personally. This guy says, no, I got to pay for storage. His mother passed away. God rest her soul.
Yeah.
And so he wants to pay for a storage bin for all of her stuff still because he can't be detached from her and even her stuff.
Yeah.
It's gotten that bad.
Mhm.
So I said, Chris, I said, what's the priority? You dying out in the woods from the cold elements?
He's living, ladies and gentlemen, and forgive me for interrupting, Pastor.
No, go ahead.
I personally,
You help him too. So.
I went into the woods. I trekked into the woods, bringing this young man a battery pack and a phone charger.
Right.
He got an hour's worth of charge out of it because he must have put it on his phone and just let it roll and roll. I had 3 days worth of charge on this battery.
Yeah.
3 days worth of charge that he used in under an hour because he had to just been going, just constantly with this thing plugged in. It's not meant to work that way. You're supposed to charge your phone
For
with
emergency uses only.
Right.
it. Exactly.
He just doesn't care,
He
wants-
doesn't. He's a guy that doesn't give a shit. And I'm gonna
So-
tell you something, folks. I
Yeah.
walked into this woods. Have you been there into the woods over there yet?
I haven't been to his campsite.
I have. I've been there twice. First time I went there, he wasn't there. Second time I went there, he wasn't there. Both times he was out. But I did run into him one time, him coming out of the woods.
Mhm.
And we were talking about doctor's appointments. Well, he said he was going to a doctor's appointment, which I know was a lie because he
It
didn't
was-
go.
Yeah, of course.
What he ended up doing was going up to the blood bank and selling blood for money.
Yeah,
We have a blood bank up the street from the house.
Yeah, and like it's really bad, guys. I mean, so I finally got to the point. He had the nerve to text me yesterday and say, "Hey, by the way, can you take me up to social services?" I completely lost it because I've always been saying to him, "I'll take you up there." I said, "Look, dude, I can't. I'm sorry." And that was what I said. He texts somebody from church and says to her, "I wouldn't bother with Pastor Steve anymore. He's giving me the cold shoulder. You should stay away from him too because he's just not the person I think he used to be." That's all I had to hear. I said, "No." I said, "How about you driving me to that point? You think everybody should cater to you, but you don't want to help yourself."
Thank you.
So guess what?
Yes.
You are cut off from now on. Leave me alone and leave the congregation alone.
Yes.
I said, but I use a little more colorful language. I was so mad.
And he needs
mad.
to be chastised for that. He also needs to understand that God truly does help those who help themselves.
You can't be
And
lazy. You can't.
No.
He's not helping, and he's capable of helping himself.
And
I wish I were capable of helping myself with a broken back.
yeah.
Okay.
And that's the thing.
I can't do what I want. I would love to do stuff for people, but I can't
Right.
because I have rods and screws holding my 64-year-old back together.
Yeah. And so
And this guy is 42 years old, folks, and living in the woods in a tent.
on purpose.
On purpose.
And he has them, and he's been given everything on a silver platter. But he
comes from money.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And he has a bit of issue psychologically, schizophrenia. Well,
Yeah, he does. Big time.
when I told him to go for his disability, he says, "I don't want that. I don't want a label on me." So you would rather be poor, sleeping in the cold 30-degree elements in the woods, getting rained on, getting sick. You complain about your heart having issues than to bite your pride. I told him pride cometh before the fall. My friend, scripture even says it.
Yeah.
Your pride's your downfall. But now he wants me to cater to him after I've been begging him to go to social services, drop what I'm doing and just...
I happen to know that the
I'm like,
pastor
no.
has been helping this kid for at least the last 7-8 months.
Yeah.
I know that.
Right.
For a fact. Anytime he needs his phone charged, I was busy.
And it's strategic
I let
because
him do
where his... Now imagine this.
Mm-hmm.
Where his campsite is, I could walk there in 5 minutes because it's literally up the street from my house. Okay? I mean, that's close. He's another 5 minutes from his campsite to the church where Pastor Steve lives. And Steve's church and his house are together. They're next to each other.
Yeah, we're on a couple acres. It's a big property.
Yeah, he's got his home, and his church is on with in a parking lot and a church,
and then open acreage and farm.
Yeah, and they got a great little setup there.
Yeah,
I think God cleared it out with his hand and said, "Steve,
Right.
this over here."
Yep.
Now, let me ask you a question about that, Steve. How about this?
Yep.
Here's something that nobody thought about. Maybe you did think about. I don't know.
Sure.
What if he were to get out of the woods and camp in your woods?
Because
you got a pretty sprawling property.
I own a lot of property. I look. I told him I wouldn't care if he did, but the Barrow does come back there.
Yeah.
Because they're afraid if someone messes with the church building. So even though it's private property, the town is very protective of the church.
Yeah.
Because it's a historic building, we restored it. So the police are always making sure pastor's property is going to be fine.
Here's the ironic thing of all of this, Pastor Steve.
Yeah.
Here's the ironic thing, ladies and gentlemen. The pastor just bought, I can't even believe he got this for $150. He bought a trailer, a pretty nice size one.
Yeah, big camper.
He bought it on Facebook for $150. Here's the best part, Amelia.
Right.
Guy delivered it to him,
Wow.
drove it to him. Okay?
Can't be
Wow.
If Chris played his cards right,
Yeah.
I'll bet you he could have lived there, but he blew
Oh,
that.
wow.
He blew that up with his disrespect toward me after all I did for
Yeah.
him. So,
Yeah.
you know, you
He
get
could have lived in that, like, had a
Yeah.
roof over his head.
Yep.
And remember,
I
and-
was with him every single day while his mother was dying.
wow.
I didn't leave his side.
Wow.
And for him, so there comes a point where you just have to
Right.
Exactly.
I
toughen up.
remember, folks, he said Facebook, not book face.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Book
Oh,
space. Yeah. Right.
It's time for a
Book-
commercial break, real quick, by the
It
way.
is. We are at the 7:20 mark, folks. And so we will be right back in 2 minutes and 29 seconds, right after this.
Just wanted to start a business when something surprising happened.
Today I'm going to teach you how to crochet.
She started crocheting, like a lot. And her friends noticed.
Jess, you need to sell those.
So she signed up for Shopify and started building her business.
Yes, I love that.
And after a lot of hard work, this happened.
Oh my gosh, I just made my first sale!
You see, every day, hundreds of businesses get their first sale on Shopify.
We got dings!
And the next could be you. So when you're ready to bring your idea to life,
And become your own boss.
build it on Shopify.
Do you have sweaty balls or volleyball netty balls? It's time to make them ready balls. The Manscaped.com Lawnmower 3.0 will do the job and clean your knob with its patented no-nick head, so your head will function as desired. Enter promo code Wrestling Future for a generous 20% discount. That's enter Wrestling Future for a 20% discount. Manscaped.com and Wrestling with the Future, going balls to the walls with Manscaped.com and the Lawnmower 3.0, your balls will thank you. And so will we.
You're gonna die.
Ayun na, pre. Kaya siguro lagi nakatingin. Kasi yun na lamang ang magagawa. Inaabangan ako na mawala. Kaso lang ang malala. Nadapa, kakatingala.
Game?
Sa kapunta to the moon. Road trip. Vroom vroom. Skr skr. Zoom zoom.
No time, better up, I can help. Let's not let me get ahead of myself. Put your ball mouth, tell me you don't wanna get stroked. Why so silly, get the lotto and tell. Why still with me, I'm bothered. Oh my.
We are back. What's the Buzz? America's Best Podcast with Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman, the Rowdy Rev, Pastor Steve Cassie, and yours truly,
cheers.
Mad Dog DeCipio. We are in open forum tonight. Amelia, what else do you feel like venting about?
Well,
Give me something that really gets under your skin. Let's get personal here.
okay. I was gonna say about that because
Jeff. Now hold on a minute. Let me set this up.
okay.
Now your wonderful husband Jeff has had some setbacks.
Oh, that
He's
one.
at home
Mm-hmm.
and he's recuperating, but he hasn't
He hasn't been recuperating.
he hasn't really been able to get up or do anything. So how does it feel having to cater to him?
Cater or wait on him hand and foot, you mean?
Oh, there you go. Okay, so unload.
Well, first of all, of course, it was okay for him to be in the hospital because there he'd be taken care of. And then, of course, the rehab, which is a different story. But when he came home, it's like, I need this. I need that. Do this. Do that. Help me with this. I mean, fucking stop.
Right.
Just like this morning. I need something cold to drink. Empty this for me. Because he has, of course, the pee thing. Of course, because he can't get up and do nothing.
Sure.
And it's all he does is just freaking lay there, watch TV, and smoke his cigarettes. I'm sick of it. And so is my son. My son has to be here to take care of him. My son is not feeling very well himself.
Yeah, she's got two guys at home. Her son, I won't say his name, and I only Jeff because we've had Jeff on the show before with you. So let's be clear about it. You know, your husband has had some really traumatic setbacks. What can he do for himself? Let's be objective and realistic. What can Jeff do for himself?
Well, let's see. Of course, he can eat. Of course, and use the restroom. As far as peeing, that's it.
But how about like if he has to get up? Is it easy for him?
Get up. He can't get up. We have to he has to sit up. We have to move his legs and actually lift him up with this lift thing that we have. It's a crank. And put him in a wheelchair, but he can't really get in a wheelchair.
He's in that bad a shape now?
Yes. Yeah, because he has a wound from, I guess.
Can you tell everybody how this all happened? Or you want me to tell them?
If you want to go ahead.
Because I'll make it real simple. Her husband, Jeff, had an infected hip. He had bone on bone rubbing against each other. They were supposed to give him like 6 to 8 weeks of rehab. Well, they ended up re-injuring him in rehab.
Yes.
So he had to leave there and go to the hospital.
It's terrible.
Okay, so he gets to the hospital, and they can only keep him there so long because the insurance was only going to pay for like whatever limited time, right?
Right.
Okay, so now they send this poor bastard home with a hospital bed that they bring. They put a ramp in, right? They put a ramp in.
Finally, yes.
For, to wheel him up and down the walkway from your driveway to the door, right?
Yeah, it's a really small ramp. I mean, it's just right there, so that's convenient. Thank goodness.
Okay, and so to get him outside a little bit.
Yes.
But he hasn't been out much.
He hasn't been out since he got him home.
Oh my God!
From
he
the
hasn't been out at
ambulance.
all.
Yeah, from the ambulance to the inside. That's the only time he's been out.
It's been months. Oh my God!
Yeah.
How old?
Yeah, since June, when we found out he wasn't feeling well in June, and we found out he had sepsis. If we had waited a week, he wouldn't be here.
Yeah, that's true. He had sepsis in the hospital.
He
contracted. You're supposed to go to the hospital to get well, not to get worse.
Correct.
Yeah, and so he goes to the hospital. Which, by the way, folks, the worst place to go to get well is a hospital. If you want to get well, stay the fuck home.
Hey, look,
I'm serious.
Or the rehab place here in Dade City called the Dade City Rehab, which they've changed it so many times. People actually die from there. We had a patient where I work at now. He recently passed away, supposedly in his sleep. Nah, I don't think so.
Well, first of all, rehabs, don't forget what they are, okay? Listen to me. And I hate to be blunt about this, but rehabs are businesses. They're in the business of making money.
Yes.
Not in the business of making people well.
Do you know who
nursing homes too at the same time?
Go ahead. Tell everybody.
You know who usually owns those rehabs, right?
No.
Orthodox Jews.
Jews, yeah.
Orthodox Jews are huge.
They own a lot of them.
They own conglomerates. Oh, yeah.
And there also was a nursing home too that he was at.
Well, there's a big facility here, Amelia, in New Jersey that the governor's wife actually runs it.
Oh.
It's called Lakewood. Lakewood Rehab. Our governor's wife is the head of this group.
Was she Nurse Ratchet?
Pretty much, yeah. But the people who own the company are all Orthodox Jews, and that we're not shitting on the Jews, but that's who owns it.
I'm just saying,
it's a public record. You can go look it up. Lakewood Rehab, New Jersey.
I wouldn't doubt it here.
Probably, that's what I'm saying. Mostly they do.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, and then it's just...
So what's the plan now? Well, I mean, you sound like you're really frustrated.
It is
about Jeffrey. So what are you going to do now?
It's frustrating because it's like he doesn't want to do anything but just lay there and watch TV, and we have to. the wound nurse comes every so many days, and my son has to change him, of course, and clean him up. And then supposedly when the wound heals in a couple of months, maybe that's what he said, the wound nurse said, then maybe he'll have his hip replacement. And then maybe after that, he'll go to rehab to walk. We'll see about that.
How
I mean,
old
it's
is he
been
now?
June. He'll be 62 this month.
He's young.
Oh, when's his birthday?
December 23rd.
That's the
he's
day
a
after
Christmas
Zeke.
baby. Yeah.
Zeke's the 22nd.
Oh, he's a Christmas baby.
Oh,
Wow.
How Cindy's tuning in. I just got her text. Hi, Cindy.
Hi,
Hey,
Cindy.
Okay. Hey, Cindy. How you doing, kid?
Yeah.
I hope you're staying out of trouble. And if you're not, give me a call.
Or what does she want to vent about, right?
Cindy, you can come on and vent about
Cindy, listen, if you want to
anything.
come on, vent with us. Absolutely.
And so I mean, it's just
here's what I think. And you can tell me to go fuck off or whatever.
no. Go ahead, tell me, please.
I think Jeff needs to get out of the bed and sit on a chair. I think
I
he
have been
needs to sit.
telling him that. Thank
He's
you.
going to end up what he's doing. And let me be very clear. I am in no way giving medical advice. I am just suggesting some common sense.
As a friend,
As
right?
a friend. So here's what, because, I like Jeff.
Yeah.
And that, and I miss my conspiracy stuff.
Could
He's
you
saying-
please tell him and call him and say, hey, look.
I may do that tomorrow. I may call him just to break his balls.
Yeah, please.
Get
Jeff,
him
I hope
motivated.
you're watching this show, Jeff, because I'm going to call you and bust your chops. And make sure Joseph shows him. Here's the thing, though. Now, Amelia's son, he's got some health issues too. Now, he's a young guy, like 30.
He'll be 30 in January, actually.
30 in January.
Mhm.
When's his birthday in January?
January 10th.
That's right. You're doing that wrestling show.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to celebrate his birthday by premiering your new wrestling show.
He wants to actually do his birthday like that weekend. So
Yeah, you're going to have a weekend party for a little cake or something.
something like that.
Jeffrey and Joe are pretty much homebound. Okay,
Yeah.
but Joe drives.
Yes.
That's the thing.
That
He
helps.
drives.
Mhm.
Amelia doesn't drive. She's got to get driven to work every day. And so that's a problem.
Have you seen the way these people drive here in Florida?
That's why I live in New Jersey.
But
Oh,
I did do this one thing. I got my voters registration where it says Republican. Finally, they finally fixed it.
Oh, you
And I got my ID,
Good.
and I got me a booklet, a driver's booklet, so I could read
Oh,
it.
good for you.
Mhm.
Good for you.
Never too late, right?
Yeah.
Pastor is back up to bat. It's open forum. Anything goes with the Rowdy Rev. Pastor Steve Kwiatkowski. By the way, it's Pastor is the shepherd over the. And I want you guys to please write this down. And I'm going to give you his number in a minute too. Pastor Steve Kwiatkowski is the pastor of Union Protestant Church. It's an Anglican church in Clementon, New Jersey, at 22 Naylor Avenue. Pastor's number is 856-896-7332.
5332.
5332. I knew, yeah, I knew I was
You
going to
forgot.
fuck it up somewhere.
Close
I
enough.
knew it.
But yeah.
5332. And that's with no cue card next to me.
Oh,
That's
that's
off the
actually
top
good.
of my head.
I like it.
You know
Improv
why
is
I'm
the
getting
best.
smarter? Because I'm drinking herbal tea. That's why.
Yay about
Yeah.
Brain food, baby.
I need to do that. I got to
Brain
regrow
food,
some
herbal
brain
tea.
cells.
Yes.
I drink my decaf coffee and a cup of herbal tea during the day.
And
With no sugar.
and Bible study tomorrow night at 7 p.m. You can also tune in live.
Live to watch church on
Absolutely.
Facebook. Now, do you still banned on Facebook?
No,
Okay, so we're using your stream or Pastor Dave.
Pastor Dave. And
Okay.
then I'll share it over mine. But yeah, you can tune in
Good.
Pastor David Watts
Yeah,
on his
find-
page, too.
Go to Facebook and find David Watts, David R. Watts. He is the pastor, associate pastor of the Union Protestant Church, the church in the wilderness.
Yep.
And
Yeah, it is.
And if you go there, I'm honest to God, it looks like a little country church in the middle of nowhere.
Yep. We
And
even have the
in 5
old-fashioned
minutes,
bell
you could
up
be in the
front.
city.
It's the truth. It takes you back in time, and I think people
really
love it.
Does it looks he's surrounded by acres and woods.
It's very, and it brings you back to what it was over 100 years ago.
Yeah,
we restored that whole building. It's beautiful. It is a beautiful little church.
Let's talk. We were talking about this last night, Pastor. Talking about the hypocrisy of like how certain things get away on TikTok and how certain people can get away with stuff and how other people, like for example, I said last night that, and here's the funny thing. We had a video that we talked about it earlier where you can't say dead or kill. Guess what? That video came from TikTok.
Yes.
The funniest thing is that, okay, so the word dead and killed are in the Bible, first of all. Okay.
Well, that's part of the problem with TikTok. Anything religious gets booted.
Right. So go woke or go broke. You know the old expression.
Yep, exactly.
The new expression, I should say. But it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these people are absolutely out of their mind. Political correctness. I don't even know what to say. It's lunacy at its best. And, it's a real shame that they closed. Yeah.
It's bizarre.
They closed a lot of state hospitals over the years, right? But when I was growing up, when you guys were growing up, if you were nuts, you were put in the state hospital.
Yes.
Some of the shit they're doing today, a guy that thinks he's a woman, look, I know what my manhood looks like. It's obvious that I'm not a woman. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We all know what we got. And they don't want to be called, come on now, man, a pronoun. I'm this pronoun, I'm that pronoun.
They, them. Mm-hmm.
Go get, I'd be afraid to talk to some of these medical people today because they're shot out too. Problem is that too much, when do you say enough is enough?
I've been asking that question for years.
And really, we've gone and look, the Russians know what members they have on their body.
Yeah.
Okay. They don't have to question their gender. The Chinese, who's dominating the world, they're not questioning their gender, what the hell it is. But you got a bunch of woke, sissy leftists.
Exactly.
And
call them what they are. They're a bunch of pussies.
They are.
Because they have no balls. They can't stand up.
Yeah,
they can only speak behind the power of a keypad or a keyboard.
Well, here's a good example. The Russians are a very healthy people, right? The Chinese, very healthy people, physically and mentally, right? They're ready for war. They're ready to. You go to us. We don't know what gender we are. We can do whatever the hell we want. We all die because of the obesity rate, and we eat like shit, and we do bad things. There's no discipline.
Right. There's not.
There's that's the problem. And you got this whatever you call it, Joe Biden jerk face over in the White, and he's a jerk. He's a jerk.
He's a fucking moron.
He is.
You almost have to feel sorry for our president. You look at this. Canada is dealing with a young guy named Justin Trudeau. Okay? Justin Trudeau is the Prime Minister of Canada. He has a long lineage of politicians in his family and his history. For a young guy to say the shit that he's saying, I shake my head in wonderment, but I hold out hope because Justin Trudeau is a young guy. There's hope for him. We don't have that hope because Joe Biden is 84 years old. Okay? He's 84 years old and he's running for a second term as president. But that's a scary thought.
Yeah.
Okay? Many people didn't think he would last this long, quite frankly. And a lot of people don't even think it's him, but that's a whole nother rabbit hole.
Right.
Let's assume it's Joe Biden, okay?
Well,
you have to understand, folks, that he is as good as he's going to get. That's as good as he's going to get. Okay? So when you consider the fact that Joe Biden at 84 years old, that's the best he's going to do, then we're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
This just in, I just got a message from Zeke. Because we live back in the woods. He says there's helicopters flying over the woods with their spotlights on, looking around.
Maybe looking for somebody. Yeah,
right. And I told him lock the door immediately.
Yeah, we had that happen the other night around here, folks.
Yeah,
state police helicopters. Yeah, they were circling around this neighborhood. We're not far from a holding facility.
Mm-hmm.
And once in a while, a person or two will escape. Now, right now, I can tell you that there is a maximum security prisoner from Pennsylvania that escaped.
Oh, my gosh.
He's still on the loose. He may have made his way into New Jersey. That's probably what they're looking for. Can I tell
you something? I feel sorry for him if he gets back there. You know how our neighbors are.
Oh, yeah, they'll kill him.
We're locked in. The whole neighborhood's locked and
loaded. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, even our police, let me tell you, they really serve and protect.
Yeah. Oh, yes, they do.
In our little country town.
Good old boys.
They are good old boys.
Right? And we take care of our own, like Jason Aldean said, right? And speaking of commercials,
we are up on our second commercial break. Okay. Let's take a look, folks. This is our second and last break of the night, and we'll be back in 2 minutes and 29 seconds.
Step 1, train the people only to consume. Step 2, infiltrate adults with the news. Step 3, indoctrinate the children through the schools and the music and the apps on the phones that they use. Step 4, separate the right from the left. Step 5, separate the white from the black. Step 6, separate the rich from the poor. Use religion and equality to separate them more. Step 7, fabricate a problem, made a lie. Step 8, put it on the news every night. Step 9, when people start to fight and divide, take control. This is called situational design.
You've made iHeartRadio the fastest growing music app in the U.S. Why? Because we connect you to all of your favorite music and radio stations in one free app. And this fall, prepare to take control of how you listen to the radio.
Replay.
That song on your radio you just can't hear enough? Immediately replay and sing along again.
Save.
Save the music you love on the radio directly to your playlist.
Play.
Search for and play any song on demand.
Skip.
Unlimited skips.
Offline.
Take the music from your favorite stations offline. Introducing iHeartRadio Plus and iHeartRadio All Access. Your radio now on demand.
What's the Buzz Podcast wants to welcome Radioactive FM 88.6 in Wellington, New Zealand, Radio Perth, Australia, and RTL Radio 102.5 in Milan, Italy. Welcome aboard, and welcome to the Buzz.
Hey Max, what's going on? I'm X, and from this moment on, I'm going to be your own personal AI DJ on Spotify. Let's go. Up next, I know you've been on a summer song kick lately, so I went back for some of your old summertime favorites. See if it warms you up. Next up, some of the music you had on a lot back in 2018.
Do you think of me? Walking out there.
All right, Max, let's get you out of your feels and switch up the vibe. You've been into dance music lately. I got this brand new release to get you moving. Introducing DJ, the best of Spotify made just for you, one tap away. Powered by AI, delivered by me, your very own DJ.
We are back with What's the Buzz, America's Best Popcast, heading into the home stretch with the Pitbull Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman, and the Rowdy Rev, Pastor Steve Kwiatkowski, Union Protestant Church, Clementon, New Jersey, 856-896-5332. Hot damn, I remember that time. Yes, indeed.
You got
so
it.
Tonight is open forum, anything goes. Speak your mind. I'll tell you what. As we close out this hour, let's kind of go over, Amelia, some of the shows that we've got coming up.
Absolutely.
We're going to do a best of show. I want Pastor to join us for that one. We got a best of. And when are we doing the best of? It's going to be the 16th or the
18th and 19th is going to be the end of the year show, and then the best of is going to be the 19th. The 18th is going to be the end of the year.
So we have, because we got Johnny Whitaker.
Yes.
Coming on December 5th for his birthday.
Yes.
Joining us for his birthday.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. And let me break some news for everybody. This is like major celebrity stuff here, okay? We hit the mother load of guests. Now, we talk about a star-studded show. We've had star-studded shows before. We've had Bruce Vilanch, Hollywood Squares, the Academy Awards, Mark Sotkin, Emmy Award winner, the Golden Girls, Laverne and Shirley. We've had Angelo Capone becoming Jerry Lewis. We've had Phil Solis. We've had, oh my God, who else we had here?
Lacey J. Dalton.
Lacey J. Dalton, Sylvia Houston, Country Music Hall of Famers we've had here. But we've got a show coming up on January 8th. That's the mother of all celebrity shows. Listen to this lineup because you're going to go nuts. Film director Glenn Martin, whose films include Camp Out, When Night Comes, Sacred Ground, The Searching, and In the Shadows. He is a macabre Americana horror film director, one of the best. And joining us is the entire cast of those films. But they, among their own right, are incredible actors and actresses. Listen to this lineup. Michael Paré from Mayday, Eddie and the Cruisers, Eddie and the Cruisers 2. Bob Romanes from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He's a personal and group acting coach as well. Beverly Randolph, Return of the Living Dead, and Freaks of Nature. If you haven't seen Freaks of Nature, you better go load it up with some Valium or something, because it will scare the shit out of you. Jennifer Banco, Friday the 13th, The New Blood, and Leatherface, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Brian Saponis has 2 upcoming films, Cabrini and Wolf Hollow, and Julia Riley plays Tammy on TV's Stranger Things and can be seen in the television film The Secret She Keeps. That's a mother load. That's the mother load of the who's who of independent film. Let me tell you something, and I'm proud of this. We got them all for one night only on one show, 2.5 hours long. There will be 9 of us on this program, and maybe 10 if the pastor pops in.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're going to use every microphone we've got. Oh man, I'm going to tell you what, it's crazy. But Amelia, we pulled it off. And wait a minute, we're not done yet. And how's the commercial say? Wait, there's more. Because the next night we're going to talk about the BTK Killer.
Oh, yeah.
Pastor will join us for that.
I know about him, yep.
The BTK Killer. And in February, we will have Lacey J. Dalton, February 5th. February 6th, Mark Sotkin, the guy that brought us the Golden Girls, Betty White, B. Arthur, Rue McClanahan, and
Shirley.
They were all wonderful. They're
all gone now.
No, they were great.
They're all gone.
They were they were good actresses.
Yep.
They were really good.
Yeah, and everybody that Mark worked with is all gone. You know, Penny Marshall, Cindy Williams.
Penny Marshall was great.
Yeah, Vernon Shirley. He was the writer for that show.
Yes.
Sure was. And the producer.
Wow.
Mark Sotkin, what an amazing, talented guy.
Really nice guy, down to earth.
Very down there. He worked with some of the greatest, like Bob Saget, Robin Williams,
Uncle Milty?
No, Louis Anderson. No, not Uncle Milty, but you know what? He's old enough. He may have at some point.
Uncle Milty and I have the same birthday, July 12th.
Really?
Yes.
I'm July 10th.
I know that.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
We're
That's
2 days
why we're
apart.
all great. Amazing.
That's right. I love
Shut
Uncle
up,
Milty.
Amelia.
I didn't say anything.
No, but yeah, it was that laugh. It was that laugh.
I loved Milton Berle, and I still do. I love the guy.
He loves him so much, ladies and gentlemen. He had a friend that dressed up like the Pope one time, looked like Milton Berle wearing the Pope outfit.
He had the teeth and everything.
Yeah, he had the big teeth and everything. Crazy. I actually met Milton Berle in Valley Forge, Pennsylvania, in 1984, and I was working with my mentor, my radio mentor, Super Lou Serafine.
Oh.
We were doing a show at the Valley Forge Hilton in Pennsylvania. And I remember he said, and my friend Lou said, well, there's supposed to be a celebrity coming in tonight, but they won't tell me who. When he came in, I'm not making a word of this up, Milton Berle came in dressed from head to toe in drag.
Aunt Mildred. That's
Aunt Mildred.
Aunt Mildred.
He had the stockings, the pumps, the hair, the lipstick, everything. He was done up like a beautiful old lady, and wore it all night long. I swear to you, can't make it up.
And he was pretty sure what gender he was. It was just fun.
Wait a minute. I'll give you. This is true. I'm not making this up. We're going to get a little gross here for a minute. Milton Berle had. So children, go hide in the closet. Milton Berle had a 13-inch cock. I'm not kidding.
His endowment, he called it. He did.
They used to call it the anaconda.
Wow.
They did. He had a 13-inch cock, and he loved to take his dick out and show people. He did. You can't, folks. Google it if you think I'm kidding. If you think I'm not. At no way am I playing with you here. Pardon the pun. I make myself laugh. Anyway, I'll tell you, yeah, Milton Berle, God bless him. He was a funny guy. He was the first guy. People don't know this. Everybody thinks it was Ed Sullivan. Milton Berle was the first guy to bring Elvis Presley on television.
Yes, he was. And they all wrote him because I remember.
Oh man, yeah, you
hate letters, about it.
Oh God, they crucified Uncle Milty.
Uncle Milty, but then they realized someone said to Uncle Milty, "You've just created a star," or something like that.
It brought him back twice.
Yes,
and Ed Sullivan brought him back 3 times because he had to one up him.
Yeah,
Uncle Milty gave Elvis his start.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah,
sure did. Well, I'll tell you what, speaking of getting a start, I'm going to get a start on the show's ending tonight. It is 7:56. Amelia?
Yes.
Great show tonight. Pastor Steve, amazing show tonight. I got to tell everybody, it's been a wonderful evening tonight.
Yes.
Got Pastor, we'll see Pastor tomorrow night, church at 7 p.m. We'll broadcast that on David R. Watts radio. I'm on radio on his Facebook. I'm on a David R. Watts radio station. I just promoted him.
I will.
He's a radio station now.
Right.
He's funny. He's a funny guy.
He is.
I like him. I think he's gonna make a nice priest. He really is.
Yeah.
Guy. And so for Pastor Steve the Rowdy Rev Kwakowski, for Amelia the Pitbull Chapman, I'm Angelo DeCipio. You can call me the Mad Dog. We will see you next Monday at 7 p.m. East Coast time, God willing, and the creek don't rise. Be good to each other, folks. Treat each other with love and kindness.
That's right.
And it's Christmas time.
Yes.
So help somebody out who's less fortunate.
Absolutely.
Buy a gift for someone. Grab a bag, put a blanket, some food, some change into a bag. Give it to a homeless person. Give them a blanket. Give them someplace warm to sleep, even if it's for a night or two. You know? Pastor and I have been trying to do that with a young man, and sometimes people appreciate it and sometimes they don't. But I'll tell you what, God is good, and God always provides.
Absolutely.
So we see you next time. God bless everybody. We'll see you. Bye-bye.